This video is brought to you by MagicJank.com, the spiciest cards for your sauciest decks. Buy and sell Magic the Gathering products and gear today on MagicJank.com. What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today we are pondering orbs, but not just any orbs. We are pondering Mesmeric Orbs, specifically. And this is a mill deck, as you can imagine. Mesmeric Orb is great at milling your opponent out. However, it also mills us out in the process. But we have a couple of tricks up our sleeve to take advantage of that. And no, believe it or not, it's not just guys blessing recycling our graveyard. We have other ways to deliver a mill kill shot in Abzan. That's right, we are in green, white, and black, so we do not have a single piece of blue mill tech in here. There's no Tasha City's Laughter, there's no Maddening Cacophony, we don't even need them. It's all good. So I'm looking forward to showing you how this deck works. I'm pretty proud of it, actually. It's a pretty fun janky brew that we're gonna have some fun with. And but first, I need to thank our patrons. So huge thank you to Angry Jellyfish, Else89, and Ryan for supporting the channel, and a special huge thank you to Big Hurt, our newest patron who has joined the channel. You are amazing. Thank you all so much for helping me keep the lights on. It makes a tremendous difference. And also huge thank you to MagicJank.com for supporting this video along with all the videos on this channel. For Magic the Gathering supplies and cards, please check out MagicJank.com before you go anywhere else on the internet. We appreciate it very much. And with that, let's get into the deck. All right, so as promised, we are milling in Abzan. So we're milling about with Mesmeric Orb. This is a 4 of. It is our primary engine. It is the fuel in the tank, if you will. Yes, that's right. It's the engine and the fuel. That's how important that card is. It gets the whole thing moving, because when Mesmeric Orb, it mills us out every time we untap any of our permanents, such as our lands, for example, and it does the same to our opponent, which is great. It brings them closer to their doom, and it brings us closer to delivering the kill shot. So that's great. We also have Altar of Dementia in here. Now, it's only a 2 of in this case because we don't have a lot of creatures to be sacrificing to this. We just don't. And it says sacrifice a creature, target player mills cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. So we don't have many creatures that we can sacrifice to Altar of Dementia. However, if it's late in the game and the Mesmeric Orb has ticked away and done its thing, then we're going to have one big thing, and that's the Lord of Extinction. So the goal behind the deck is to mill our opponent and ourselves, fill up both graveyards. As both graveyards fill up, our Lord of Extinctions get huger and huger, and hopefully we'll be able to just play one, hit it with the altar, mill them for 40 off the Lord of Extinction, which should be enough, given the Mesmeric Orbs have been doing their job throughout the course of the game. That's the hope. Now, you may note, like, okay, that's specific and fine, but, you know, that's very limited in what happens if you get the Lord but you don't have an altar, or what happens if, you know, these various situations. Well, that's where Brilliant Restoration comes in. Brilliant Restoration is fantastic. It returns all artifacts and all enchantments from your graveyard to the battlefield. So, again, if we can get 1, ideally 2 orbs moving throughout the course of the game, milling us out like crazy, we can then hit a Brilliant Restoration, grab up any Mesmeric Orbs or any Altars of Dementia that we have just chilling in our graveyard, bring them onto the battlefield. Additionally, we're going to be bringing up Cruelty of Gix. We immediately read ahead to Chapter 3 on Cruelty of Gix, and that becomes our Lord of Extinction. It reanimates the Lord of Extinction. We have the Altar of Dementia down now. Bing, bang, boom. We're off to the races. We pop off, and the game on the spot, which is pretty darn sweet. Additionally, if our opponent has tapped lands and our Lord of Extinction is not quite big enough to kill them with 1 altar ping, we wait until their upkeep. So we put a pause on their upkeep, let them go. The Mesmeric Orb triggers. For each mill of the Mesmeric Orb, it puts 1 card into their graveyard, gets 1 card out of their library, so it reduces what's effectively their life total as far as we're concerned. But it also adds a card to a graveyard, so our Lord of Extinction gets bigger, which means when we sack it to the Altar of Dementia, we hit them for even more. So we can let a couple of Mesmeric Orb pings go. The total number we need to hit drops, and the number we're able to hit increases. And so between those 2 factors, a lot of the time that's enough to end it with the Lord of Extinction. I actually have played this deck, actually just on stream today as I'm recording this, and I did successfully mill out an Oracle of the Alpha deck that had almost 160 cards in the library at the end of the game, because we hit a Brilliant Restoration. We were down to 3 cards. We had a Brilliant Restoration, pulled 3 Lords of Extinction onto the battlefield with an Altar of Dementia. And so our first one hit them for like 40, our next one hit them for 80. It's like, what are you gonna do? And we still had another one teed up ready to go. So as you can imagine, it gets out of hand very, very fast. So this is all fine and good, but in order to hit the Brilliant Restoration, we need to have a 7 drop hit the field. You know how hard that is to do. This deck is historic after all. So we have a ton of like elf strategies. Goblins are still running around out there. We've got like Lifegain that's capable of hitting you for like 40 damage in the air on turn 5. You know, so what do we do to deal with all of that? Well, that's where Day of Judgment comes in. It just 4 mana, wipe the board, just buys us some time. That's all it does. Now, in a lot of cases, especially on, you know, Lifegain, like Angel style decks or elf decks, where frankly, you could be dead on board on turn 3 pretty consistently against those decks. Haze of Pollen is also in here just to buy some time. A lot of the time, the early game is like hold up Haze of Pollen for like 2 or 3 turns, hit the Day of Judgment, hope for the best. We also have Binding the Old Gods in here for a couple of reasons. It helps ramp us into the Brilliant Restoration while removing the biggest threat off the board at the time. Chapter 3, the creature's getting Death Touch. We get 0 value out of that. But to be honest, like 90% of the time you play Binding the Old Gods, you get 0 value out of that mode anyway, so whatever. Yeah, that's fine. We also have Dryad's Revival in here because we will be milling the cards we need. We just will. So the fact that we have our regrowth with a flashback is fantastic because when we mill this, we can pay 5 to load up whatever we need in order to win the game. So we can load up another Day of Judgment to buy some time. We can load up our Brilliant Restoration, which hopefully will hit the next turn for the kill. Or we could grab a Lord of Extinction if need be. Another Root Snare to buy some time, depending on how our mana's lining up. All that jazz is available. Then we also have Settle the Wilds. To be honest, I like Settle the Wilds a little less every time I play it. You could probably make an argument that this should probably be a 1 mana dork, like a Gilded Goose or like a Llanowar Elves. And you might be onto something there. But I have Settle the Wilds in here because if we hit it right on turn 3, we put our 4th land into play, which again helps us ramp into our finishers. So it helps us ramp into our finishers, potentially, while also grabbing us a Binding the Old Gods, because Binding the Old Gods is our only 4-drop in the whole deck. So it guarantees that we're going to hit a Binding. If we hit it with, you know, with 4 lands down, we put our 5th land onto the battlefield and we grab a Cruelty Overlord. If we have more than 4 lands on the field, Settle the Wilds is much less impressive. Because we don't seek anything. So it's just ramping us. And 3 mana for a land that we don't even have any agency over is a little bit unfortunate. So it's not amazing, but it gets the job done. You know, it helps us get up to where we need to be. So it's fine in that regard. But it'll do the job. Teeing up Binding is actually pretty useful because Binding not only removes one of the big threats, but also ramps us additionally. So it's pretty good in that regard. So that's the deck. It's pretty straightforward. This is definitely like wombo combo action. The goal is mill out like crazy, shove, sacrifice a Lord of Extinction onto an Altar of Dementia, and call it a day. Worst case scenario though, like Cruelty of Gix, it has different modes. We can use it to hate on our opponent's hand. We can reanimate their creatures with it if need be, but that we will be milling. So, you know, I have had it where I've stolen like my opponent's Heliod's and stuff for good value, even though that's like way not what we're planning on doing. You can also beat your opponent to death with Lord of Extinction if they have like a massive library or they're running Gaia's Blessing, which as you can see, we don't really have a good answer for. You know, we don't have a Tormod's Crypt or a Stifle even to prevent the, prevent that from going off. So we have to get a little, we might have to get a little creative, but at the end of the day, if you've got, 2, 2020s online, and which is actually a pretty conservative estimate. This thing can get huge. You tend to win games. So that's the hope. That's the goal. We'll see how it works. So with that, let's jump out onto the ladder with this thing. This is also, this is jank. Make no mistake, this is 100% jank. It's definitely great for, play queue shenanigans if you want to, turn people's heads, or if you want to film a silly YouTube video and have some fun, which I do encourage you to do. If you wouldn't mind crediting me if you do, I'd appreciate that. But in any event, here we go. Let's jump out onto the ladder, see what we can do with this thing. All right, now I know I was just talking about how this is play queue jank, and here we are on the ladder, but, well, I'm nothing if not a little bit hypocritical sometimes. All right, so we have a Temple Garden live. We have 3 good lands. We have the Orb in hand, and 2 Hazes. I mean, we're gonna be able to put the screws to our opponent with the Orb, which is great. That's exactly what we need to do. And we got Haze up. So, groovy. And right out of the gate, our opponent is taking a minute on their first land drop. It's possible they're deciding, you know, which lands to hit. It's also possible they're in the restroom. You know, these things happen. Or they're playing on their phone and they just got disconnected. I don't know. Whatever the case may be. I could speculate. Or maybe they didn't realize they had priority there. Maybe the rope will get their attention. Maybe not. Yeah, so here we are. Just chilling. A little bit of illin'. This is gonna be a little frustrating because it's actually a really good hand that we just got. We got a really good 7. And we're playing straight into a rope. I really dislike that. I really dislike that. I wanted to play this game, doggone it. Okay. Oh, they're playing mill as well. Nice. Yeah, they DC'd. There's no way. We actually had the turn 2 Mesmeric Orb. We have all the goodies in hand. Oh, now they're gonna start. Interesting. Okay. I mean, they missed a turn, so this is unfair. Like, we are just ahead here, which I don't like being in that situation, but see what happens. And it looks like, I mean, they're gonna try to, I mean, they have the Mad and Cacophony, so they might be trying to mill us too. So sure as Kanta, they're even playing a permanent right into my Binding of the Old Gods. I'm the worst. Oh no, another orb. Bummer, yo. Oh well. Gonna shock that in case we have need of Takenuma in the future. Yeah. Yeah, this sequence kind of lined up perfectly for us, and we got a free turn. I don't feel good about this, but at the same time, I mean, they're playing it out, so let's roll with it, see what happens. Okay. There's my Brilliant Resto. I was looking for you. And Altar of Dementia. Sure. Let's go grab a land. Triumph sounds like a fine idea. We're actually getting close to being able to rip this thing. Actually, wait, can we do it? We can do restoration next turn. I'm worried that that might not be worth it. Now I'm gonna put a stop on my opponent's end step because I want to be able to mill more. I want more in my graveyard. Gonna anticipate. Okay. It's also possible they may have counter spells. They are running blue after all. So it'll be very interesting to see if they keep mana up. Now, notably, they haven't milled any counters yet, I don't believe. No. Alright, they're digging. Down to 39 cards, we're down to 41. Gonna rock a Mind Stone, so now they have 2 mana up. If they have a negate, they're gonna punish me pretty hard. If they don't, I'm gonna be pretty happy. We're gonna tap those, so we have to untap more permanents, get more Mesmeric Orb triggers. I want my graveyard nice and swole. Alright, and we got the Cruelty in there. Excellent, excellent. It's all coming together. I love it when a plan comes together. Ooh, another Mesmeric Orb. So, we have some choices here. We could just rock Brilliant. Graveyards actually aren't quite as swole as I would like at the moment. But what the hey? Let's give it a shot. Let's see if it resolves. If they have a negate or spell pierce or something like that, it looks like they don't. All right, we read ahead the Cruelty. Grab Lord of Extinction. This I can draw a card. All right, groovy. And now we have double orbs. They mill 8. That should do it, actually. We still have to stop. I believe we're gonna get a trigger before their draw. I could be mistaken. I often am. Yep. Now, like I said, this was totally unfair. Our opponent did not have their first turn. So we got some setup, but all the same, we did the thing. This is exactly what we came here to do. They're gonna anticipate. All right. Looking for some kind of stifle effect, I'm guessing? Like a hero's down, tail's end or something like that? No, but nope. Goodbye library, go ahead and draw for turn. There we go. So yeah, it was unfortunate that our opponent had that connection trouble at the beginning, but at the end of the day, that's what this deck's trying to do. So let's see if we can do that again. I see an orb in the opening hand. We don't have a green source, so we can't hit the Settle the Wilds. Hopefully we draw into that. But I mean, orb in the opening hand. I can't say no to that. I can't say no to an orb. Going up against mono red, it looks like. I just assume. Whenever I see a mountain, I just assume it's the mono red rush, because that deck's pretty common. Oh, but they don't immediately slam something. Interesting. Okay. Well, here's an orb. Do with that what you will. Then you won't mill anything because you didn't tap the land, unless you decide to use the land, in which case you will. Unless they tap it for like a Raise the Effigy to destroy Mesmeric Orb. I'd be shocked if they actually do that. It's not one you see run very often. But yeah, play with fire, sure. They're gonna scry that to a top. Well, let's see what you wanted to keep, because it's going bye-bye. Land. Oh, did you need that land? I kind of hope you did. All right, untap green source off the top would be fantastic. All right, this Haze of Pollen is gonna be pretty darn useful too. Carry Zev, great card. All right. Notably, none of these have haste. That's nice. Overgrown Tomb, you would have been good. You would have been very good, as a matter of fact. But alas, no such luck. Another orb is nice, though. We can keep the pressure on. In our very own special way. Yeah, it's just, okay, just aggressive red stuff. Sure. Aggressive red stuff has a tendency to win games, by the way. You know, I'm being a little derisive, but at the end of the day, like, it's powerful. It usually does good work. All right. Triome, that would have been nice. Overgrown Tomb, that would have been nice. Temple Garden would have been nice. Another Triome would have been, oh my goodness, so many green sources hitting the bin. Oh, that is just heartbreaking. Oh, man. I can't in good conscience cycle the Haze, but at the same time, if we can't play it, it's not worth anything. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna cycle the Haze away, I guess. Hopefully to hit a green source. No such luck. Ouch. Yeah, we got color locked. We just got completely color screwed. We're probably not gonna win this. It's Lord of Extinction is about to get swole, but doesn't matter. The amount of pressure they have on board is pretty gnarly. Yeah, if you enjoy counting to 20, man, mono red is the deck for you. All right. Drawing into a Day of Judgment or a Haze of Pollen would be really nice. Well, actually, no. If it's a Haze of Pollen's not gonna do something good. It needs to be Day of Judgment. Corzela 34. Yeah, they have a lot of tap permanents, but this isn't enough. Yeah, we got color locked. We're sitting on 3 dead cards. You can't win a game when you have 3 dead cards in your hand. Milled out of 10 though. I mean, that's no joke. But yeah, they definitely got us. And even gonna bone crush our face. Sure. Yeah. All right. Fun times. Yeah. That was sketch. Maybe I should have mulled that, but I didn't think we were gonna go that long without seeing a green source. We have a lot of them in the deck, so anyway, them's the breaks, I guess. I'm intrigued by this hand. We have a lot of interaction, which is really handy. We don't have our orbs. The Dryad's Revivals are interesting too, and we only have 2 lands. I'm gonna mull this because if they're not playing like combat heavy, that's gonna do nothing for us. I'm gonna keep this. I'm gonna let Giggs go because now we have the orb. We have our engine. So yeah, I'm much happier about this. Opponent playing. Oh, I was about to say. When they led with the Hegra Brood Pit, I assumed they were on Charbelcher, because, you know, MDSCs tend to read Charbelcher to me, but Deathclap Gate doesn't fit in the Charbelcher deck, so that's not what they're doing apparently. Okay. They're ramping, which means they're gonna mill quite a bit, which is nice. I like that. Settle the Wilds. That's actually a great draw for us. So we are going to settle the Wilds, get another white source, sure, and now we have our bindings. So now we've got 2 bindings chilling here. They're clearly ramping to something. Hopefully it's a permanent we can blow up. that's my thoughts. If they drop a big heavy permanent on board, we can blow it up. Now, Weather the Storm is interesting here. Exquisite Blood. Oh, I'm gonna kill that immediately. Oh yeah, do not pass go, do not collect $200. That thing is getting blown up. And Triumph, hey, that's nice. I'll take that. Boom. Popping that thing all day. Let's get some more mill on. Tatted Spear. All right, they're definitely doing life gain stuff. They're doing some stuff with life gain. I assume Veto is in there as well. Yeah, I assume they're going for the Exquisite Blood, like, Veto combo. With an Apprentice. Ooh, with Weather the Storm. That's interesting. It's very interesting, actually. All right. All right, Hoppo, I see you. Yeah, I'm gonna bind that too. I'm not okay with them having any combo pieces of any kind. That is just strictly not allowed. All right. Going for the end step pause so we can tap our Triumph. Make sure we have 3 lands down. 3 lands tapped so that we untap them at, on our upkeep, because I wanna get the mill on hardcore, as you can imagine. Sign of Blood. All right, sure. Going for those Magecraft triggers. I respect it. Cultivate. Going for more lands. Thinning the deck out a little bit. Putting more tap permanents on the field. Not mad at that. Let's go. All right. It's my turn. Let me get my orb triggers. I'm feeling very triggered. All right. Did Judgment, not super helpful here, but that's okay. We do have another Triumph in the mix. Excellent. Dryad's Revival is going to go grab Brilliant Resto. I'm going to play out our Altar of Dementia. Once more, we have to stop on the opponent's end step. Now, they have to kill us this turn. If they do not kill us this turn, I believe we have it in, on, or around the bag. Yeah, well, they got 19 cards left in their library. Now, that said, the deck they're playing is clearly designed to do like one-shot wombo combo. That's clearly what they're going for. Like, you don't run Exquisite Blood usually if you're not. Here we go. This is gonna hit us for a lot, like a lot. This actually might be enough. Because what's happening is every time Weather the Storm resolves, Veto hits us for 3. And Witherbloom Apprentice is pinging us for 1, and they gain 1, and that Veto pings us again. No, we actually survived at 3 life. That was hella impressive. Wow. Okay. Now, we're 1 mana shy of the Brilliant Restoration. However, we just drew Lord of Extinction. So we cast Lord of Extinction, immediately mill their whole library. Now, if 1 card in their hand was a Weather the Storm, they could hit it on the upkeep and they would have won. If it wasn't, this happens and we're good. So we pulled it off. Boom, baby. I love it when 2 combo decks duel it out. It's super fun. So thank you so much for checking out the video. This was an absolute delight. As you can see, the games are pretty quick with this thing, and it's fun. Like, this deck's just fun. It's a mill deck that it's not just running fetch lands and ruin crabs. until you're blue in the face. Yeah, I enjoy it. So thanks so much for checking out the video. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you again to the patrons and to MagicJank.com for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you're having a phenomenal day, and I'll catch you on the next one.